All right, let's get your details now coming in of exactly what Pakistan's terms and conditions are for a World Cup climb down. Don't know if we can call it that because remember, Pakistan is set to take a complete U-turn on their first stand of boycotting the match with India. But keeping in mind the stakes involved for Pakistan too, they now are looking at a climb down and a face saver while doing it. The ICC has rejected all the conditions put forth by Pakistan. What Pakistan sought, and these are details that we've accessed here in India today, Pakistan sought a bilateral series with India. So for all the grandstanding they're doing, they wanted a bilateral series with India. The ICC said nothing doing, rejected. Pakistan wanted an India-Pakistan-Bangladesh tri-series, again rejected by the ICC. The third condition, Pakistan sought India's tour to Bangladesh, trying essentially to send out a message that they're siding with Bangladesh. Third term condition rejected by the ICC. Essentially, Pakistan has attempted to tell the ICC don't penalize Bangladesh, but the ICC has made it very, very clear what they have to say on this issue, saying that we've given Bangladesh their due hearing. We made it very clear to them that they can be a part of this, but they can't dictate terms and conditions. Similar messaging to Pakistan here, that they cannot dictate terms and conditions. They can either play in the World Cup, they can either play that match against India or choose to opt out. There's going to be no face saver that will be allowed for Pakistan. Now, here's what we're picking up right now. ICC has given Pakistan a day to consult the Pakistan Prime Minister and decide. An announcement is expected either this evening or by tomorrow morning. And this announcement by the ICC will essentially seal Pakistan's fate. Let me bring in Gaurav Sawant for more details on this. Gaurav, all those terms and conditions that Pakistan attempted to dictate, we've accessed here in India today. Unsurprisingly, every single one of those conditions which were attempted as face savers have been shot down, rejected by the ICC.
Clearly no face saver for Pakistan. The ICC is very firm. Pakistan was on a very sticky wicket on this. Now, Pakistan initially, as India Today's Vikrant Gupta had also pointed out, Pakistan initially claimed it was backing out because of Bangladesh. Then they said they will play but not the match with India on the 15th. But then again, when ICC asked, how can you take such arbitrary decisions? On what basis are you taking these decisions? Then they claimed that these were very extraordinary circumstances of force majeure, where they cited their government's decision. Again, the ICC went back to them and said, okay, under what subclause were you going in for these measures? Why was your government saying so, especially at a time when on the same day that your government announced this, they were playing the under-19 with India, and the Rising Star Women's Asia Cup match was also happening, and Pakistan had no response. So the ICC, to give Pakistan a fair hearing, sent the deputy chairperson, chairman of ICC and another official to Pakistan in Lahore. There was a meeting, and a very long meeting. After that, Pakistan was asked to revert with whatever their government may say on this, but whatever reasons that Pakistan gave and the conditions that Pakistan kept, in all of this, even commentators in Pakistan are saying, if it was about Bangladesh, now that Bangladesh is not playing, why are you playing? It's a major loss of face. All you wanted was more money. So there is no honor for Pakistan. It's only about money. And apparently now that's exactly what appears to be happening, because the ICC has read the right act to Pakistan.
With these terms and conditions that Pakistan tried to put out and all of them being rejected, it's very clear at this point where Pakistan's place is as far as, the ICC and World Cricket is concerned. But I'll bring in Nikhil Naz as well. Nikhil, considering every single one of those conditions by Pakistan were rejected, what option does Pakistan really have now going forward?
Well, Akshita, the first option that Pakistan would have if all conditions have been rejected is to not play the India game. That would be the obvious answer. Will they do that? I think, the jury is still out on that, and we're going to know in the next few hours. I mean, it's an interesting moment at the as I speak, Akshita, because we're getting conflicting reports from, from India as well as Pakistan. This is something that has been reported since morning, that the conditions that Pakistan wanted for them to play India were restore bilateral ties, get the handshake protocol back, and give us a increased share in ICC revenue. That is what they were hankering for, is what was being reported right here in India. Then, if you take a closer look at the reports that are coming out of Pakistan based on PCB sources, they claim that they haven't actually asked anything to do with Pakistan. Everything that they asked for on table when ICC came to Pakistan was related to Bangladesh. So what Pakistan is claiming at the moment, there has been no demands with regards to bilateral. What they've asked for is that allow Bangladesh to get a share of this T20 World Cup, even though you've taken them out. Going forward, if any country, like in this case, Bangladesh, quoted their government saying that we cannot play in India, you have to be cognizant of that. You have to take into account, and you cannot take a team out of a tournament. Put a rule in place. This is what Pakistan media says that Pakistan is demanding. And what they're also demanding is a bilateral series or two to follow with Bangladesh, which India were due to play. So as I said, right now you're listening to different parts of the story. Now, if I were to assume that everything that PCB is asked for and ICC is rejected, and I completely agree with the news that we're breaking, that some of those demands, if they are true, they are outside the purview of the ICC. Playing bilateral series, the ICC can't decide that. It's not up to the ICC, it's up to the BCCI. So, it wouldn't be fair to say that the ICC is not given into the demand. They've said this is not something that we can answer for. Or for that matter, even a tri-series is not something we can organize. This is done at a bilateral level. So please take it with the countries that you want to organize. They are concerned about an ICC tournament. And if Mohsin Naqvi is having a meeting with his government at the moment with Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif, I can only hazard a guess that there can only be two scenarios. One, Pakistan maintain their stance and they will not play the game versus India. Or if they do make a U-turn, ICC would have to in writing, for which can be a face-saving exercise. They can say, we've gotten this.
But Nikhil and Gaurav, just stay with me. Nikhil, just a quick follow-up question on that. Can Pakistan really afford to do that? There's a lot at stake for them too. They can afford to grandstand, sure. But ultimately, the reason there's a rethink also, Nikhil, is because they have so much to lose.
I agree with you 100%, Akshita. In fact, they're not just looking at financial sanctions. They're actually looking at probably, end of cricket as we know it in Pakistan. Because we've heard not just now from the BCCI, not just from the ICC, you've heard from other countries as well. Recently, Sri Lanka board wrote to Pakistan saying, if you don't play that India game, we are going to be hurt. And let's not forget, Sri Lanka was that one country who had to endure the terrorist attack in Pakistan, after which they didn't have international cricket. Yet they were one of the first countries to go back to Pakistan when international cricket resumed there. Are you going to antagonize Sri Lanka too? You've had the United Arab Emirates Cricket Board also write to the PCB saying that, listen, this is not done. You can't keep the entire cricketing world at hostage. What we picked up a few days ago, the Australian as well as the English Cricket Board have also written to Pakistan. So yes, they are playing with fire at the moment. Any decision they take of not playing India, it's not India versus Pakistan. It will be Pakistan versus the rest of the cricketing world. And as I said, you could have a scenario where Pakistan will find itself isolated in the world of cricket. But that's the risk. As at the moment, does seem like that they're ready to take. It's a misstep. I completely agree. No country in their correct mind would be willing to risk so many things. But then we're talking about Pakistan.
Let's also be clear that the ramifications go well beyond cricket here, Gaurav. I mean, look at the optics involved. We're talking about the Pakistan Prime Minister also being involved. There is in all likelihood going to be a meeting that will take place later today in Pakistan between the PCB chief and the Pakistan Prime Minister. What are the optics here? That the government doesn't seem to know what they want. That, one day it's this, another day it's that, and then there's so much of speculation, no clarity whatsoever.
So Pakistan has a long history of tactical thinking and not having the strategic outlook. They just want to make headlines for that day. It's a game of brinkmanship. As far as Pakistan is concerned, they'll put out 4 demands. Even if one is accepted, they'll say it's a big win for Pakistan because they just have to spin it. And there's a Pakistani ecosystem in Pakistan and across the world that will carry their spin forward. Point 1. Point 2, look at the Kargil war. They came in not knowing what their exit plan was. So they tactically may have brilliant ideas, but strategically, they don't have the bandwidth to think big, to think long term. And they end up shooting themselves in the foot like they did in Kargil, like they did during 26/11, like it was during Pahalgam terror attack. And here, they think tactical, they don't think strategic. Point 2. Point 3. As far as Pakistan is concerned, they've often cut their nose to spite their face. They don't want India to look good. So whatever happens, it's like I lose one eye so that my neighbor loses both eyes. That is their mindset. So they're willing to lose a match thinking that India will lose more money, which is clearly not the case, as Nikhil has told us in the past. And as we well know, India can take the hit. Pakistan cannot take that hit. And this is one time where Pakistan has noticed that India refuses to let Pakistan browbeat browbeat us, bully us, or blackmail us. That is not happening. And in this case, the ICC, look, even in the case of Bangladesh, the decision was 14-2. It was only Pakistan and Bangladesh. So Bangladesh was hung out to dry by Pakistan. Now Pakistan is saying, give us more money, we will play. So, you know, they've let down Pakistan, they've let down Bangladesh. They want more money. Give them more money, you can make them do anything. That's the truth about Pakistan. Let's see if this time will they play or will they, either ways, you know, they're caught between a rock and a hard place. Either ways, it's doom for Pakistan.
You know, ultimately, it's exactly what happened with Bangladesh, that what should ideally be the cricketing spirit, the sport kept away from politics, isn't happening. With Bangladesh, politics got mired, mixed into it. Bangladesh lost out on the T20 World Cup. Similar to that is what's happening with Pakistan. And right now, as Gaurav put it, they're stuck in a situation where they don't know what to do. There are bad optics involved. There's also a lot at stake involved. So either way, you know, damned if you do, damned if you don't as well. So, you know, at this point, we'll track what happens, but we're expecting that there will be a decision by either tonight or tomorrow morning. Thanks, Nikhil. Thanks, Gaurav. Okay, let's move on now to what's happening in the southern states, particularly pole-bound Tamil Nadu, where there's a big question mark on what's playing out really between the DMK and the Congress. Yes, talks are going to start really on what exactly the seat share will look like for contesting the upcoming elections, but Congress's patience is wearing thin. They're now pulling up the DMK saying, what's with the delay? Why haven't talks kicked off? So you're seeing all of this grandstanding as the DMK has clearly now taken up a wait and watch mode at a time when several Congress leaders have very publicly spoken about power sharing. Remember, the Congress has been an ally of the DMK for the last many elections, but never have they actually been a part of the government, never found a role in the government. The Congress is seeking to change that. The AIADMK seized the opportunity to lash out at the Congress DMK. Let's take a look at all those updates.
The battle for Tamil Nadu is just around the corner. An alliance formation in the India bloc is still not finalized. Talks between the Congress party and the DMK appear to be stuck. CM Stalin says his focus is on governance and welfare schemes, not political deals. In the Congress, patience is wearing thin.
It's a very sad day.
Party MP Karthi Chidambaram has openly questioned the delay.
I've said that also, that, you know, if you start formal talks, this kind of barbs and comments which are coming out in social media will stop. Yeah. So really the ball is in the DMK's court. As I said, we have formed the committee. I think all this will come to a quietus.
The growing frustration in Congress exposes a simmering tension over seat sharing and election strategy. The AIADMK is already taking pot shots at the India bloc.
எப்பொழுது பார்த்தாலும் இந்தியா கூட்டணி சொல்லிக் கொண்டிருக்கின்ற முதலமைச்சர் ஸ்டாலின் அவர்கள் ஏன் இப்ப இந்தியா கூட்டணி பேரையே எடுக்க மாட்டேங்கிறாரு? காங்கிரஸுக்கும் திமுகவும் உட்கட்சி பூசல் வந்துச்சு. கருத்து வேறுபாடு வந்துட்டு இருக்குல்ல. காங்கிரஸ் கட்சிக்கார ஒரு கருத்து சொல்றாங்க தலைவர்கள், அதற்கு எதிர்கருத்து திமுக சொல்றாங்க. இன்ன வரைக்கும் வெளிப்படையா பேச முடியலையே.
One of the roadblocks seems to be a suggestion within the Congress to strike a pact with superstar Vijay's TVK. While the Congress is unlikely to break away from the DMK-led alliance, the final decision will be taken by the party high command. With Pramod Madhav and Anagha Keshav, Bureau Report, India Today.
Pramod Madhav is joining us live from Chennai with the latest updates on this. Pramod, what's really taking place between the Congress and the DMK? You know, on one hand, you had all of these statements over the last many weeks from Congress leaders publicly demanding power sharing. Now, no movement going forward. Is there really any delay on the part of the DMK as the Congress puts it?
Well, one thing is very certain, because like several netas from the Congress have been asking for a committee to be formed, starting with Girish Chodankar, then Manikam Tagore, and now it is actually Karthi Chidambaram who claims that the delays on the DMK spot. However, today morning we got exclusive information from DMK, where we've been told that the Chief Minister wants to wait until the dates for the elections announced, and only then he wants to go ahead and initiate the committee. And the important aspect that's been given is that the Chief Minister is completely on rounds every day, actually announcing new schemes and going to various public rallies as well. And he believes that initiation of such committee right now would actually hinder the such kind of programs and such. The second important aspect is that even in 2026, the actual committee committee was formed only after the dates were announced. And the important aspect here that we need to know is that on one side, while Congress is claiming that no initiation has occurred through committee or such, Kanimori went last week. She met Rahul Gandhi, and that is considered as one of the major steps for DMK-Congress alliance, because only after that, the affirmation of Congress and DMK alliance was confirmed, which we were the first to break also.
Okay, all right. Pramod, just stay with me. We're also getting in the news break coming in from Tamil Nadu. This is on Vijay's film, Jananayakan. I don't know if we can call it his upcoming film yet because we still don't know about its release. But in some hope really for its release for Vijay fans, Jananayakan makers have decided now that they're no longer going to continue seeking court intervention. They're pushing now for the censor board to go ahead and release the film. So they've withdrawn, will be withdrawing in fact their case in the Madras High Court. They will directly speak to the censor board. What that will mean is the censor board will send it back to the revising committee, and then you have a very clear timeline. So far, because of the hearing that's been taking place in the court, you can never really say how long a legal matter will go on. And so, because of that, there was a big question mark on when the release would happen. Now, with the makers considering dropping their case in the court and sticking to the censor board, there is a possibility that maybe 2-3 weeks from now, the film could actually release. Pramod, this is something experts kept questioning about the strategy of the makers to go to the court at a time when the censor board was still looking into the film, which led to perhaps a further delay as well.
That is unfortunately one of the actual solutions that was given by many legal experts earlier, because what happened earlier is that, as you might remember, the movie was supposed to be released on 9th of January, but due to the legal course that was taken by KVN Production, almost a month it's been, and since there is no kind of any kind of clarity as to when the movie will be released. So we've been told right now that KVN Productions has reportedly gone ahead and they've decided to send the movie once again to the review committee, as the censor board earlier said, which means that there are high chances that the particular movie could get this censor certificate within a week's time. This itself is a very big relief for KVN Productions and the fans right now, because if the case once again goes to the single bench judge and hearing occurs, means we will have to go ahead with censor board giving their own argument and KVN Productions giving another set of arguments and such, which could possibly delay the release of the movie. So if we've been told, we've got information right now that KVN Production has decided that if the case is coming to hearing tomorrow, they might withdraw the petition and the review committee can go ahead, watch the movie, and probably we believe that the movie could get a censor certificate and probably release within a week, Akshita.
Thank you for joining us with all of those details. Vijay has also been facing a lot of questions and controversy over the tax evasion case. He's been fighting this for the last many years, even before he announced his political plunge. But now, keeping in mind that he is also a key political player, there's been a huge political controversy in Tamil Nadu. The BJP has lashed out at, in fact, Vijay, saying, with the DMK saying that Vijay's credibility in politics has been questioned. The DMK has also challenged Vijay to publicly declare his income. The AIADMK, which so far had refrained from attacking Vijay, has now joined the offensive, with EPS calling Vijay corrupt, saying there's evidence now. Hitting back, TVK chief Vijay's targeted Chief Minister Stalin, saying the DMK government has in fact targeted youth, has failed to help youth fulfill their dreams and is running an incompetent administration.
ஊழல் குற்றச்சாட்டு, அது நீதிமன்ற நடவடிக்கை. இது எப்ப 2016 எடுக்கப்பட்ட வரி ஏய்ப்பு சட்டம். அதான் நானே சொல்றேன், விஜயுடைய இப்ப டிக்ளேர் பண்ணோம்.
அவர் ஊழல்வாதி என்பதற்கு அவர் பணம் கட்டது சாட்சி. நீங்க நீதிமன்றமே தீர்ப்பு கொடுத்துருது. சார், அவர் எங்க வெளியில் வந்திருக்காரு? ஏதோ ஒரு கட்சி ஆரம்பிச்சாரு, அவ்வளவுதான். ஒரு சம்பவம் நடந்து போச்சு, நடக்க முடியாத ஒரு சம்பவம் நடந்து போச்சு. அந்த சம்பவத்திலிருந்து 72 நாட்கள் வீட்டை விட்டே வரல. இது வரைக்கும் எத்தனையோ கட்சி தலைவர் இருக்கிறாங்க. ஆனால் ஒரு சம்பவம் நடைபெற்ற பிறகு அதை துணிந்து நின்று அதற்குண்டான தீர்வு காணுவதுதான் ஒரு அரசியல் கட்சியுடைய தலைவருடைய கடமையாக இருக்கும். ஆனால் கட்சி ஆரம்பிச்சுட்டு ஒரு துயரமான சம்பவம் ஏற்பட்ட உடனே 72 நாட்கள் வெளியிலே வரல. ஆஃபீஸை மூடிட்டாங்க 5 நாள். யாருமே கிடையாது. கட்சி இருக்குதா இல்லையாங்கிற நிலை ஏற்பட்டு விட்டது. இதுதான் நிலைமை, தமிழ்நாட்டுடைய நிலைமை. அந்த கட்சியுடைய நிலைமை அதுதான்.
With the election on, the stakes are becoming really high, with comments made by EPS against Vijay, claiming that him not paying the tax money itself is calling him corrupt. Is that so?
Vijay has been sitting in the comforts of his Panayur house and has been trying to call out various politicians and political parties. But he himself has not come out clean on various issues. You know, there seems to be allegations against him which is not cleared the air on. And he has been very selective also in regards with what issues he speaks on and what he doesn't attack the DMK government on. Today the state is suffering from a various number of issues, including a very large extent of drug abuse and women's safety issues. But actor Vijay is busy dancing on stage for his own cinema Kuthu songs and attending weddings of all millionaires. He doesn't have time to even care about his own fans who want to see him as the chief minister. So you can't really expect much of a person of that nature. So just sitting in the comforts of your house and trying to call out other political parties is not going to help the state. So at this point of time, I really think that he's going to be a no player in the coming up election.
And over the showdown that we've been seeing over the Bengaluru Metro fare hike and the fact that it's been paused now, you've got a state versus centre fight playing out with now DK Shivkumar mocking Tejaswi Surya, BJP MP who staged a protest today. DK Shivkumar has said that Tejaswi Surya should first bring some money from the centre for Karnataka and that Tejaswi Surya has done nothing for the city of Bengaluru. Remember that over the hike in metro fares in Bengaluru, you've got the BJP pinning the blame on the state government pinning the blame on the BJP, says central government is to blame. Ultimately, if you look at the details that have emerged in this particular case, both sides perhaps are responsible because the BMRCL is a body that has a panel which has representation from the state government, representation from the central government as well. So a whole lot of politics and both sides essentially putting their hands up in the air and pointing fingers at the other.
I feel sorry for him. Young man, without doing any work, without bringing any money to the government, without bringing any money to Bangalore, without helping the people of Bangaloreans, he wanted to take a false propaganda. I never expected, he has a lot of future. I never expected that he will go to this level, making this type of...
He took empty box and he's using language.
Let him bring some money, let it go. Let him bring some crores, let him propose a project, let him bring some money from the central government, let him take the claim.
Okay, I'll bring in Sagai Raj for more details on this. Sagai, amid all of the finger pointing, ultimately the question every Bengalurian will ask is who is responsible when this kind of a hike happens? Where did the proposal come from in the first place?
Absolutely, it is the ultimate sufferer or Bengalurians. And if you notice that when the yellow line was launched in Bengaluru, both the parties, BJP and Congress, came forward stating that it is the state central government which has given more funds, and state government leaders also came forward saying that it is 60-40, state government give more fund, not the central government. And when it comes to fare hike, both are trying to distance themselves whenever this happens. We have noticed last year and as well as this year stating that we have no role to play. It is the state government which have to decide on the fare. And where the state government says that it is an autonomous body, but central government is also part of that autonomous body. And today, Tejaswi Surya went on to say that it is the central government which has stopped the hike on the price, whereas the state government says that it is the state government which has done this and there is no role of the central government. So both of them are trying to take credit. Both of them are distancing themselves when it comes to controversy, but when it comes to credit, both of them are jumping and trying to take credit. The ultimate sufferer are Bengalurians. No matter which party comes to power, no matter which party is the center or in the state, it is the people of Bengaluru who have to face the brunt of this politics.
I agree that let's not allow any of these netas to fool us into this finger pointing and this kind of a political blame game. Ultimately, both sides are responsible, and who has to pay the price? Every single Bengalurian. Thanks, Sagai, for joining us with those details. For now, let me highlight, for now, the metro fare hike has been put on hold because of all of the public outcry, the criticism, and of course, the political sparring. So at least something has emerged, at least some takeaway has come from the non-stop political bickering that we've witnessed. The BMRCL, which is essentially the Metro Rail Committee of Bengaluru, it's said that at this point, it's been put on pause because the panel has decided so. BJP's Tejasvi Surya, who was detained this morning during a protest over the fare hike, has welcomed the suspension but said that this is due to the central government's intervention. And on the other hand, the Karnataka government has said that the BJP has no credit whatsoever in this and that it's the state government that's ensured a pause.
Just because we are asking for affordable public transport, we are asking for accountability of the government. The government is forcing an arrest and a detention. Shameful. Instead of providing better roads, instead of providing better infrastructure and amenities, this is what the state government is doing. This is what they are doing. Arrest because we are asking for affordable public transport.
No, they arrested and then left him because he was, creating some issues, protests and all that. Police people have asked him to go and do the same protest in that, Freedom Park rather than in that place. So that is why preventively they have taken him to custody and then left him. So now my only suggestion to Tejasvi Surya is, please look into all these aspects at Delhi. Central government has to give us a lot of money.
Tejasvi should have protested in Delhi against the central government because they have appointed a fare fixation committee which is taking decisions every now and then to increase the fare. It is controlled by the central government. Tejasvi belongs to BJP, which is running the central government. So he should have protested against his own party headquarters in Delhi or in Bangalore or in against the in front of Prime Minister's residence. What business is he doing here protesting on the metro station? That means he is misleading the people. BJP government has control over the fare fixation committee. They appointed and they have increased the price. And Tejasvi is a BJP MP. So he should protest against the BJP government. Why is he protesting against the Congress government?
So on one hand, you have all of this talk about the Bengaluru Metro fare hike and who's responsible. Here's another joke on you, the citizen. The Karnataka government is handing out left, right and centre ministerial posts. What that means is MLAs get all of these perks that come with being a minister. 54 additional ministerial posts have been handed out. Who's paying for this? No prizes for guessing. It's taxpayer money that's spent on perks. And all the while, you have roads, infrastructure, welfare schemes, a struggle for funds for all of this. And we've heard public admissions about this. Here's what the Karnataka fund crunch looks like, or essentially the irony of it. In some cases, they have all the money they need. In some cases, they don't. Here's what they have money for. For renovations, 2.6 crore rupees has been spent on the Chief Minister's Kaveri House renovation. You could argue that it's not just for Siddaramaiah, but the timing of it, when you say you don't have funds, there will be questions about this. Meanwhile, pothole-ridden roads yet to be fixed. They've got money for chartered flights and choppers. 47 crores has been spent just on that. Infrastructure, public admissions made that we don't have the money. They also say at many points that, we don't have money to fulfill all of the guarantees that were made during election time. Remember, it's still being implemented in phases, and they've said that it's drained state coffers. And yet money is spent again on quarter upgrades. These are the Deputy Chief Minister's quarters, 61 lakhs that's been spent on this. The Dalit department is seeking additional funds. They haven't received it. Why? Because again, the state government has said we don't have money. Contrast that to the fact that 8,000 crores has been allocated for MLA constituency funds. So does that not come under an MLA's responsibility to ensure that groups get the money that they need? The state is facing fiscal difficulties, challenges. We've repeatedly highlighted it, also courtesy the guarantees. And amid that, you've got perks for 54 additional ministers that has been now announced. The government is defending it, saying, no, there's nothing wrong in what we've done. At the same time, there will be questions about priorities. And this is not something that's limited to Karnataka. Let's face it, it's something that happens in every single state, that netas get plum posts to ensure that they can bag as much money. For the citizen, nothing left. The
Karnataka government is under fire for an unchecked spree of ministerial status posts, draining the public exchequer. 54 more individuals have been granted Minister of State rank, taking the total to 149 people enjoying cabinet or ministerial status. Shockingly, only 32 are constitutionally appointed cabinet ministers. The rest hold their rank through board chairmanships, corporations, or as advisors, many without even being elected MLAs. Each status holder enjoys hefty perks. Paychecks of around 3.13 lakh per month, including 50,000 salary, 1 lakh rupees fuel allowance, 80,000 rupee house rent, 20,000 for staff and maintenance, plus daily travel allowances, medical reimbursements and full state minister protocol. Meanwhile, Karnataka leader of opposition R. Ashok slammed the Congress government, calling it a burden on taxpayers. He accused Chief Minister Siddaramaiah of distributing posts just to save his chair, describing him as incompetent.
I say, cabinet darja देना, मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ पैसा कहाँ है? कर्नाटक में पॉट होल सिटी बन गया बेंगलुरु, पूरा स्टेट रोड्स ठीक नहीं है, फिर भी गवर्नमेंट टैक्स मनी और कर्नाटका जनता का टैक्स मनी ऐसा खर्चा कर रहा है.
The Congress hit back, calling the criticism politically motivated and defending its governance.
In their government also there were chairmen. They were all functioning. Why suddenly it becomes, when Congress government appoints chairman, why it becomes splurging of public money? When they appoint the chairman, it is a public service. This is double standards of BJP.
Meanwhile, the state is grappling with pressing issues. Roads are riddled with potholes, infrastructure funding is inadequate, guarantee schemes are struggling, and the Dalit Welfare Department seeks more funds. With fiscal difficulties mounting, critics question whether public welfare is truly a priority. With 149 ministers but development funds drying up, Karnataka's taxpayers are left asking who really benefits from these backdoor ministers. With Sagai Raj in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
Prime Minister Modi is set to visit Assam on February 14, but here's what makes this visit unprecedented. His aircraft is slated to land on the Northeast's first highway-based emergency landing strip. This will be on the Dibrugarh-Moran stretch. And also, Rafale and Sukhoi jets are likely to perform special aerial demos. Fighter jets will be landing and taking off from that highway. This is an aerial display to watch out for, and it's likely to last about 30 to 40 minutes. We see the Indian Air Force do this quite often, ensure that there are no emergency strips across the country where highways essentially become landing strips and takeoff strips. But here in Assam, you're going to see the Prime Minister's aircraft also landing on this highway. I'll bring in Shivani Sharma for more on this. Shivani, explain to us the significance of what we're going to be witnessing come February 14.
Akshita, this happens to be a very important emergency landing facility that happens to be one of its kind in the Northeast, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be landing on this ELF in Assam's Moran. And there will be a display of prowess by the Indian Air Force. The Rafales, the Sukhoi, other fighter jets will also be conducting a drill. 30 to 40 minute long drill will be conducted, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be witnessing it. We must remember that Indian Air Force has been making these kind of ELFs in different parts of the country, but this happens to be one of the ELFs in Northeast in Assam. And it also shows how India is preparing itself for any kind of challenges, for any kind of situation. And Prime Minister witnessing this prowess will also be important strategically, and also in view of what Assam is going through. Assam is witnessing the upcoming elections, and this would be Prime Minister Narendra Modi's third visit to the state. where he will also be inaugurating a number of projects along with this landing at the ELF in morning.
Okay, lots to watch out for, but thanks Shivani for joining us with all of those details. February 14th is when you're going to be seeing the Prime Minister's aircraft touching down for the first time perhaps on a highway.